Hey, Charles, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm doing something different. I'm gonna use the audio of my phone, but watch the meeting visually. So I'm gonna turn off the audio on the computer, okay?
Okay.
So,
Jeff Edwards.
so now I'm using my phone to talk.
Okay, and are you number 703 at the end?
Yes, 9703.
Okay.
And I will turn my audio on my computer down.
Okay.
I think this will solve my audio problem.
Ooh.
Hi, Lucia.
Hi,
Can you hear me better?
I hear you wonderful.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm trying to solve my problems. I have a new device, a new hearing system. Let's see if now I am online all the time. If I disappear,
Okay.
But your audio is
Cool.
great, April.
Because I'm using my phone for audio, but I'm watching the meeting.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And I think that's going to be a lot better.
Good. Good.
Okay.
Why are you standing up instead of sitting like everyone else?
First off, I have really bad back problem. And second off, my tax season job introduced me to a stand-up desk, and I
We
love
love it.
stand-up
Yes,
desk.
I know. That's
Love
what
it.
some people do. Yeah.
Took some getting used to, but I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm working on payroll while we wait.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a raise?
I am not going to lie to you. The first time I ever met, who's now my ex-husband, the first time I ever met him, I was introduced to him by his employer, who said, April does our payroll. First thing he ever said to me was, give me a raise. I don't even know the man.
Okay, well, I promise you I'm not going to propose.
You're already married. Yeah, that didn't work out so good. But I paid for a long time, let me tell you.
Hey, there was a great letter in the papers this morning about the funny survey. Did you get to
I
read it?
read your letter. It was awesome. I reposted it on my Facebook page.
Great.
Yeah, very good.
It was an awesome letter. And Cynthia's letter was in there
It
as
was
well.
great. We had two letters this morning. It was great.
Yep. All right, time cards.
Yeah.
Okay, Aline, you're in.
It's,
Hello,
Okay.
Aline,
how are you?
good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
so it's Charles, it's you're doing that we're doing this meeting finally? You figure it out?
Yeah, I did.
Great. Great.
I was stressed.
With Aline's help.
No, I was so stressed because I thought to myself, okay, maybe I assumed it was the same link because it looked a lot like the same link, but the link is so long that what if it's not? And Cynthia forgot to tell me that part.
Oh.
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Well, I'll keep a watch on the waiting room here. Everybody's in that showed up at this point.
Mary should be here and Rio should be here.
Mhm. And Rio.
I don't see Rio. Do you guys?
No, Rio's not in.
No, I don't think so. So
And Mary
Chris-
should be here.
Mary's the person on the phone, right? The phone icon.
No, that's April.
That's April.
Yeah, my audio's through my
No,
phone.
because I see April. I see her.
She's using
Oh,
I'm doing it
well,
two
you have
ways.
two devices. Okay. Then maybe.
And then Julie thought she might check in. I don't know for sure.
So we got a couple of people. Julie Tacker,
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Edwards is on here somewhere.
Sitting
So-
together.
Cool.
Jeff and I both are sitting together under Jeff's name.
No footsie.
We're at 5:32, Madam Chair.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll wait one more minute, just in case they're having trouble. Charles's letter was awesome too. He should have published it.
Yeah, where'd that letter go?
I don't know what letter.
Well, the one you wrote,
Yeah.
the survey one.
But the one I wrote to the paper, it was kind of taken
Similar?
from both of them. I used a lot of what Charles said about being unscientific and having the questions being biased, and I took a lot from what Bonnie was good. The problem is you have to keep them to 250 words. It's so difficult to be able to say something of consequence in so few words, you know.
Right.
Okay, we're at
Go ahead.
5:33 right now, just for respect for time and courtesy for everybody here.
Absolutely.
Let's start this.
Absolutely.
So I want to formally begin the December 17th OAC meeting. First thing on our agenda here is the roll call. So I'll start myself, chair here, present. Rio Cortez, vice chair and secretary. Rio Cortez, absent. Next, we have Charles Barney, treasurer.
Here.
Lucia, and I'm not going to attempt her last name.
Oh, come on. Casalinovo here. Casalinovo.
Here. Castellinovo, here. Mary Lucy, absent. April Dury.
Here.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have the flag salute. Now I'll start that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have public comment for items not on the agenda. Again, it's public comment for items not on the agenda.
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair. This is Jeff Edwards. May I speak at public comment?
Sure. For
Super.
items not on the agenda.
It's not on your agenda tonight, I'm pretty sure, but it is going to be on the OCSD agenda next Wednesday, the 23rd of December at 6 p.m. And
Okay.
what that is Central Coast Blue.
Okay.
So some of you may recall that the CSD had an item regarding Central Coast Blue on the December 9th agenda, had a fairly long discussion, agreed to continue it, and indeed it's set for next Wednesday at 6 p.m. And again, some of you testified at that meeting on the 9th. So the CCB has another component that your advisory council considered back in June, and that was the first injection well. And I spoke back then in June. I opposed the project. This was a City of Pismo Beach project, and your advisory council considered it, and I think you recommended it go forward. But I would submit to you that a lot has been learned about CCB and the project that has now been appealed to the California Coastal Commission, the one that you took up in June. That injection well is basically at the intersection of Pier Avenue and Highway 1 and the campground. And while it's an injection well, the first phase of this is one of 5 injection wells. It's actually going to extract water, and it's going to extract water at the rate upwards of 1,500 gallons per minute. And some of the comments I made at the CSD meeting, and I'll make again next week, is that could, these wells are run for 24/7. This could be a very large amount of water. They've downplayed it, but it could be upwards of 100 acre feet of water, which is, it's an enormous amount of water that's going to be pumped to the ocean. So it also has impacts to the businesses, because this is a very noisy operation. So the businesses right there in the vicinity are going to be impacted, for at least a month or so. I know everybody's trying to catch up on CCB. It's a somewhat complex project, and I hope that all of you will look for the agenda for the OCSD next week and participate in that. And maybe Pismo Beach has generated hundreds, if not thousands, of pages on this project, including an environmental impact report. So I encourage you to read up on it. Again, it's got a few moving parts, but at the end of the day, it has long-term implications for Oceano's groundwater entitlement and their participation in the NCMA. Oceano has a 900 acre foot groundwater entitlement, and Pismo's playing some funny games on the water. And so that's a concern I think the OCSD has, and I would hope community members would have as well. That's all I had. Thank you very much. If there are any questions. Oh, Julie apparently would like to make a comment.
Yeah. I would like to make public comment also, if that's okay, if you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay. I've been participating in the South San Luis Obispo County Sanitation District meetings, and last night their board met and they passed some rather hefty change orders and a contract amendment north of $3 million for the redundancy project. While they claim these expenses are budgeted, I don't think your community is aware that the redundancy project today is now $37.4 million. That is a staggering amount of money to invest in a substandard location near the ocean at the confluence of 2 creeks. That kind of money could be better spent at another location away from the coastline. And I asked that board last night to bring it back to your communities. Take it, Pismo back to, or excuse me, Arroyo Grande back to Arroyo, Grover Beach back to Grover, Oceano back to Oceano, and say, is this something the community really wants to invest their money in? Because that's a hell of a lot of money. And you're required by the Coastal Commission to move in so many years. I don't know how many years, but
30.
well,
30.
okay. But if you are investing this much money, you could be in a superior location much sooner. So I'd like you all to maybe read last night's couple of staff reports and ask questions of the representative of Oceano at the Oceano CSD to bring that question back to the community. I think you need a healthy conversation about it. So that's all I wanted to bring to your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else with a public comment for items not on the agenda? Being none, we'll move on.
Aileen, can you hear me?
Mary Lucy?
Yeah. I had a really hard time getting on.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. We waited
No,
3
it's
minutes.
not. Yeah, no, it's not your fault. It's just, I sent out a few texts begging, please help me.
Okay,
But I
so
figured
you're
it
in
out.
now.
Thank
You're in now,
you.
Mary Lucy,
But
and
I
we just
apologize
started.
for being late.
We just started. We are on guest reports, and I'll take you off being absent and present.
Okay,
So-
thank you.
Okay. We next on our agenda, we have guest reports. First guest report from county planning. Do we have anyone here from county planning today?
Hello. How are you guys doing today? I'm here today, but I do not have any report today for you, but I'll be here for your review of the projects on your agenda.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't see you on before. Did you just get on?
Yeah, I got here a few minutes ago and had
Okay.
a few minutes of technical difficulty, but I'm here now.
Okay, because I was like, we're not going to get much done on the project if he's not here. Thank you. So next we have county code enforcement. Do we have anyone from county code enforcement here? Being none. Anyone from the sheriff, Commander Wells? And I know we have Commander Klinenberg, I think is you pronounce it. He's here. So do you have a report for us?
I am here. I thought I had a report. I will ask for some forgiveness. I'm under quarantine, not for me, but for a member of my household. And so we're awaiting the results, and that presents some challenges for me in getting my proper report for November. So I apologize for that. But I do know that the last meeting I was here, I missed last month, but the month prior, I was asked about a tree on Highway 1 that was possibly a visible impairment to a speed limit sign in the vicinity of, I'm going to mess that up, right before you get to the curve there, near Quintessa Coffee and by the Central Market in that vicinity. So I just want to say we got in contact with Caltrans, and they are working with the owner. What they have to do is they have to contact the owner and advise them that their tree is blocking the sign, and if they're willing to on their own trim that tree back, then that works out great, and they do that, and then the speed limit sign's visible. If they don't do that after a certain period of time, then Caltrans will come in and trim that tree back so that the speed limit sign is visible. And so we're in that process. I have not driven by there in the last couple of days to see whether it's done or not. But I know we're in the process, so at some point it will be if it's not already. So with that, any questions or items of significance that I can address, I'll be happy to.
Well, thank you for
I
that.
do have one. Thank you. Yes, I do have one question.
Sure.
It may not be within your purview, so please let me know if that's the case.
No problem.
Um,
No
for-
problem.
I'm sure you'd be happy to. Right around exactly where you're talking about, I don't know if you know now, there's a used car lot where the old CHC little building used to be.
Sure.
There's a sign there just before that driveway that says no parking, red zone, start, but there's no end sign. Is that you or is that the county?
Well, if it's on Highway 1, it's going to be Caltrans.
Well, it's on Highway 1.
Yeah.
I
So
wrote a letter to the county and I've never heard back from them. But because you just talked about something on
Yeah.
Highway 1, that's why I'm asking.
yeah, that'd be something I can certainly ask Caltrans about.
Okay. So if you're going towards the beach, it
Yeah.
will be on the right-hand side,
Okay.
just as you're passing the, I would call it the second entrance into the little grocery store.
Yeah.
Before the car lot, right there, it says no parking zone start, but then you drive down the road and there's never an end. So I
Yeah.
don't know where it ends. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah, no problem. That, like I said, I think I said the last time, I have a great relationship with Caltrans on items like this. So I'll take it up with them and we'll see what we can figure out.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else?
I, do you see my hand? Yeah. I'll try to make this very brief and maybe you'll be able to answer some of my questions or not,
do my best.
Okay, so there I know the sheriff put out a press release saying that they would not enforce any public health guidelines regarding COVIDs. And so I did want to know what you will enforce, since the sheriff's department has come out and said that we won't enforce any public health public
Sure.
health, needs. And so if you could just kind of clarify that a little bit more for us, because,
Well, I would-
we don't just stick within the boundaries of land use, it also has to do with the health of our community. So
Sure.
that's why I ask you. So I've had people ask me, okay, so if they're not going to enforce, our safety, can you find out what they will enforce?
And I certainly I appreciate the question, but I can't clarify for the sheriff's department and what they will and won't enforce. I can say only what I've heard the sheriff say, and in that only under the most egregious of circumstances will they do some type of enforcement. And that is something that they're setting the parameters for that. We don't have any sort of interaction with them on that. They don't ask us for help with that because it's their primary responsibility. And so there's no way that I could speak on behalf of them as far as clarifying that statement.
So you've been trying to stick to just the Highway 1 corridor?
I wouldn't say trying to stick to it. I mean, our primary responsibility is traffic enforcement.
Okay.
And
all right.
We focus on that. And we absolutely would help the sheriff's department if they had any issues related to the order.
Mm-hmm.
And we certainly would be willing to be whatever part of that they would ask us to be, but that's not something that we would take the lead on,
right?
Or initiate any type of enforcement in that aspect from the highway patrol's perspective.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry that I can't be more.
No, you helped
clarifying with that.
Okay. Thank you,
Charles.
I've got one quick question. It just came to me, Greg.
Sure.
Have you noticed any change in just number of calls or enforcement actions since the SVRA opened?
Yeah, great question. Nothing specific. No, no.
Okay.
since I'll take it sort of an overall view for COVID, we had a big dip in traffic initially, March, April, and since I would say since May or June, we've had it sort of has leveled off. I'm not going to say return to normal because we're not at that point. Traffic definitely has not returned to pre-COVID amounts, but our traffic volumes, crashes, and anything else that goes with that, all the other statistical categories that go with that, have sort of leveled off in that respect. I will be curious, if and when they do open it back up to camping and off-roading there, what difference we'll have. I think, common sense, I think will say that we'll see another, an increase in that respect, but nothing significant since it's open just to cars again, or to vehicles again. So.
Right. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm sorry I can't answer all of the questions that I get asked. I apologize for that.
We're happy you show up. Thank you.
And best wishes to
Thank
your
you.
family and your
Okay, I
son.
appreciate it. I'm sure everything's going to be fine. It's the times we're living in. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
I appreciate all of you as well. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Commander.
sir.
You're welcome to stay or not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wait around for a little bit, but as the times we're living in, dinner's going to be delivered here pretty soon. So
Good for you.
thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So moving on our agenda, next we have presentations. Do we have anyone here with a presentation? Being none, we'll go on to the next item, review and approval of minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Would someone like to have any changes or a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve.
Charles moves. April 2nd. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Minutes pass unanimously. Next on our agenda here, we have the new business items, but I was thinking, I don't know, should we keep them the way they are, or should we move up old business and talk about the two vacation rentals that we have that the county rep is here for?
Yes.
Mhm.
I think.
Yes.
That's
I
fine.
think that would be
that's
courteous.
Yes.
kind
Okay.
and fair.
So can we motion to have a change of the agenda and move up the old business first?
So moved.
Second? I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll do the old business, and the first old business project we have here is a Fisher project. Does county want to begin discussion, or should we?
Sure, I'll give a quick introduction of this project. It's another vacation rental license one that I mentioned last month that it slipped through you. So this one is on Strand Way. It's a 3-bedroom existing home looking to be used as a vacation rental. This one is, I believe the address is 1362 Strand Way.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone want to start the discussion? This vacation rental is up for hearing this Friday.
I have a question.
Sure.
I wasn't quite sure. Is this also a application to do a remodel of the property?
The request does not include any of the remodeling. The only request is a vacation rental.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Aline, I think that in a correspondence with other council members, you said something about 1,000-foot distance. Do you recall
Yeah,
that?
that was, I didn't follow up because I looked at the hearing and I confused it with the second project that's on the same day. That on Friday, there's 2 cases.
Mm.
So I was quick, I skimmed down and then noticed it was the wrong, vacation rental.
So as, and then I'll conclude with this, but as I think, I just want to confirm that my understanding is correct, that currently the county has some basic regulations with regards to vacation rentals around, I mean, like they have to pay taxes and they, have to have the somebody that people can report to if there's problems and that sort of stuff. But in terms of actual distances between vacation rentals, number of vacation rentals, there's, as are in other cities, we don't have anything like that that applies to the Oceano unincorporated area at this time. Is that your understanding, Young?
Yes, in Oceano, there is no set amount of distance
Right.
requirement or limitation.
Right. And so just, I have been circulating some materials around, and I know, I mean, there's a lot of pages in there, but it's the Los Osos new regulations that they have. Every beach community is addressing this vacation rental thing, and we're one of the last. And so I hope we'll start to be doing something. And let me just go back to the project then specifically. Thank you.
Aileen, I have a few questions.
Go ahead, Mary Lucy.
I don't see, is it Mr. Choi, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Hi. I just didn't see your name at the bottom, so I apologize. So do you know how many legal vacation rentals we have in the Oceano area at this time? And I'm not looking for an exact, just a guesstimate.
I don't have that number, but that's something that I can easily get back to you on by next meeting.
Okay, I'd greatly
And did
appreciate.
you mean in the Oceano Advisory District in total between the inlet and coastal, or just the coastal?
For the Oceano area.
Okay.
Whether it be coastal,
Both,
inland.
yeah.
I'm just trying to get a sense of how many legal ones we have, because we're going to have to figure out how many illegal ones we have as well.
Right.
Okay,
It would
so
be nice to have them for the two separate areas, if we could, Mary. So we
yeah,
I could
sure.
separate that.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a total, but
I-
separated would be great.
Pardon me,
And then,
but I happen to have that number here for you if you
Yeah.
want it. It's as of the January 27th, 2020, early in the year, 94 vacation rentals in Oceano.
so that was a year ago.
Exactly.
94.
Mhm.
Yeah, that must be just on one up in the Strands or something. Okay, so then also too is that Oceano residents have gone through some pretty horrific rate increases. And so I know that the county gets, I think, about 13% bed tax. Don't quote me on that. You guys would know better, but I want to know if their water rate is different than, say, a residential home.
No.
No, it's not. The county doesn't get to set the rates.
No.
Okay, so at this point, vacationers can come in and, just suck up the water and then go on their way, right? Basically.
Well, the property owner would be paying for the usage of the utilities.
Right. I'm just trying to look at different services for, vacation rentals versus residential, people who live here year round and have to sustain these fees. And so water was one, and I didn't expect you to, speak on water, but you did have an answer and I appreciate that. And I would assume it would be the same for fire. Now, do we know that since we're paying, and I'm not quite sure how to word this properly, so, chime in anybody, but if we're paying additional fees for fire, and that includes, temporary, weekend warriors too, that does that landlord, I know they probably pay the same as we do, right? But there's just something that's unsettling to me, and I'm not quite sure I can put my finger on it yet. Just like they pay a bed tax, we don't pay a bed tax, we pay property taxes. So I just kind of think that there might be something that's not balanced when it comes to municipal services. And I don't know, and I haven't had time to investigate other cities looking at it that deep or not. But I kind of feel like we're carrying the weight of the vacation rentals, the residents are. So it's just food for thought. And if anybody has any ideas later on, I'd love to hear from you. So that's all my questions for now. Thank you.
Anybody
I have a
else?
question. Yes, please. So looking at the document that was turned in for the land use permit application, it says short-term vacation rental, and then surrounding land use. To the north is vacation rental, to the south is a private residence, to the east is a private residence. So is this a separate building on the same property, or are they just designating one section of one building as a vacation? That's my first question.
So this proposed project is for the entire home.
Okay. So when it says surrounding land use, they mean a whole different property, different APN, not within that property.
Yes, so north of
Okay.
that property, so the property to the north of
So
and south would be.
technically, right next door, the northern next door neighbor is already a vacation rental.
So my records on the county data show is that it's actually one north of. So it's right immediately north of, I don't see as a lodging business data. However, north of that property is a lodging business, and same with the south as well.
Okay.
But my
well,
data is also about a year old.
Okay, and I'm
about
looking
February.
at a hand filled out land use permit application dated July of 2016. So
What's the problem?
it's in a packet.
It's a little late now. It's looking now.
Could people put their mute on? It's hard to
Yeah.
listen. Please put mute
So
on.
then my second question is to do on the same application for parking. It says number of parking spaces proposed 4. Is that strictly for the rental portion, or is that the entire property? And if it is or not, does that include driveway and garage, or does that include street at all, these 4 spots?
So that includes both. On this one, as I see it, this one expects to have 2 garage and 2 in the driveway.
Okay.
And since this is the residential vacation rental, it will be the only people occupying this property during the rental would be those renters. Their property owner would not be present on site.
Great. Okay. So an absentee landlord in the heart of other rentals. Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
However, one of our requirement is that there be a property management company that could respond 24/7. So
Okay.
that yeah.
So the owner could even be the property manager, just
They can.
live like in
Yeah.
the next town over or in Oceano closer to the port.
Yeah,
people.
we have we call it a 20-minute response time. So
Okay.
if an owner can respond to the property within 20 minutes, then they themselves can be the property management or the 24/7 contact person.
Okay. And you guys monitor that, or they just have to have that part of their application, and then we hope it gets enforced or known? Or?
So kind of both. One of the requirement is that once approved, they have to send out a notification to 200 feet of their neighbors with the contact information of the 24/7 local fire and local sheriff department number as a notice that, hi, this property number will be vacation rental, and this is the emergency contact number should there be problems. So that one is required, and we need to see the mailing list before we finally sign off on the business license of this property. Yeah.
That's great information. Thank you. That leads me to another question, which is when you say, I think you said 250 feet? Is
200
that from
feet.
200 feet from the front door or the circumference all the way around the property? And I understand this property in particular is at the ocean, but if it was 4 blocks down, is it 200 feet around the thing or just out the front door 200 feet?
We do it with the computer GIS system. So how we do it is basically 200 feet radius of the property lines. So technically, this residence would also have to notify the state of California because, you know, it's within 200 feet of the property line.
You're just a wealth of awesome information. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I have seen several vacation rentals in which one bedroom has 3 or 4 beds and can accommodate more than one person or a couple. So, is there any regulation that asks the landlord that keeps the landlord from putting 5 people in a bedroom with 5 cars driving to that vacation rental? Sometimes vacation rentals are rented for big parties and they all sleep in the same room. I have seen bedrooms with bunk beds in which as many as 5-6 people can sleep, and each gets there with his her own car. And you know, parking on Strand Avenue and the entire beach community is prime. So I'm asking you, is there anything that keeps a landlord from doing that? Anything that we can do to look into that?
So for vacation rentals that go through minor use permit, just like this process, there is an occupancy limit that we put as a conditions of approval. Those number is we allow for 2 people for a residence plus 2 people per bedroom. So this vacation rental with 3 bedroom is allowed maximum of 8 people total. How we enforce it, unfortunately, the county does not check in each individual renter. So it's really up to the community calls that we get or between our host compliance system.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I understood that the 8 people total. How did you figure out the 8 people again? 2 per each
so
bedroom?
basically, yes, 2 person per bedroom plus 2 person for the property. So 2 plus
3 times 2 plus 2. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you understand now that these 8 people can each have their own car.
Right. So another condition that we put in is that all parking has to be entirely on site. On site meaning within their property.
But this
outside of
property-
driveway and everything.
This rental only has 4 parking.
So that's something that the owner will need to put in their advertisement, that there are limitations to the parking provided. So, and that's also something that if we see any additional parking, then that would be something that will go through code enforcement.
I have a question.
If a neighbor reported it, it would go to, they have to have a number there to call, right? If there's a problem, and they call the paid enforcement. Yeah.
Right. So that's hopefully that's the #1 way to resolve any problem, which is the local property manager. If then they do not respond, then we do have code enforcement that we could go. Yeah. I think there was question.
I have a
Aline.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all these conditions that you have to get the
Mhm.
permit, do you have a document that's specifically for Oceano that you could send us so we could
It's
see?
not specific to Oceano. The one I have is to coastal zone area, and I'm more than happy to send you some of the
I think you sent-
guidelines.
I think you sent that document already, didn't you?
I think so. And what we kind of caught, yeah, so we use our ordinance. So our Title 23 ordinance that I sent you before,
Mhm.
some of them has the limitations on those. Those are directly coded into our conditions of approval. And the
Okay.
bedroom and the occupancy number comes from that ordinance as well.
So, but there's nothing specific to Oceano,
No.
not even a one pager we could look
No.
at and quickly see.
No,
Wow.
everywhere in the coastal zone outside, within coastal zone applies the same regulation.
We need that.
Well, we have it in the document, that the Big Oceano study that I sent around to everybody, that has all of it in there.
Mhm.
It's a great, it's like an encyclopedia of vacation rental in San Luis Obispo County.
You're talking to the Cal Poly student?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Any other questions on this particular item?
I
I
have
don't
my
have
hand
any.
raised when you're ready to go to the public.
Okay.
I don't
You're
hear.
muted, Eileen. There.
Lucia needs to be let back in.
Yeah,
I just got a message.
Julie Tacker has her hand up to speak.
Yes, but so now that we're done, is there public comment for this item? Julie Tucker?
Yes, I do have my hand raised. Julie Tacker, and I see you struggle. You have a proliferation of vacation rentals in your small community. In our community, we have 34 licensed vacation rentals. Of them, only 17 are in use. So in our case, it's kind of completely opposite of you, but it would be interesting of Charles' numbers to see how many are actually paying TOT and are in use of those vacation rental permits, because sometimes those permits are considered a commodity and they technically increase the value of the home for the next guy. A lot of people just want to retire there, but they hold on to that license so that they have some equity in their property value. So that would be something that you'd want to compare when you decide that you want to determine your own ordinance for Oceano. I am on the land use committee in Los Osos, and we just went through this painful discussion. And my council, not me, landed on a 500-foot distance requirement. We're a much larger community than you. And in my personal opinion, I feel that's excessive. In your community, you are almost on top of each other, and there should be some distance requirement. Avila has the closest distance. Young, maybe you could remind me what that distance is. So when you go to another agenda item in the future that you want to develop your own ordinance, you want to compare those distance requirements. But what you can do, and to address Mary Lucy's question about water use, I know that the Public Works Department has developed kind of a conservation little flyer or TP that they ask that vacation rental owners put in their bathrooms and kitchens to show that, you know, we're always in a drought. This is California, for heaven's sakes. So when you make your recommendation, I don't know that you could stop this project, but you certainly could shape it, and you can underscore that you support all on-site parking. You support 8 maximum. You support water conservation, and you ask that they post the water restrictions that the Public Works has developed for vacationers. Because sometimes people just come to town and they just take a big long shower or a big hot bath because they haven't had one at home, and they're using your water. Of course, the property owner is paying the bill, but that doesn't mean we waste. We don't waste water.
Right.
So it is difficult to shape a vacation rental permit when the ordinance is so broad. But you as a council should set a future agenda item where you're going to develop your own ordinance and ask that the County Board of Supervisors make changes specific for your community. And distance is probably going to be one of them because you have so many so tightly together. Those are my recommendations. Hope I'm informative. If you have any questions, I'm standing by.
Thank you. That gives me one more question then to piggyback on Mary and now Julie. Do we have the ability as an AC to shape or guide requirement for low flow retrofitting at all? Or is that only at the permit building department?
Yeah, we have no authority to do anything.
No, but to help shape, to help guide, to say, you know, our recommendation is that low flow toilets be considered.
It's possible. Yeah, I think so.
So, and to go along with this conservation concept, that's all.
And people are aware that we're going into a level 2 drought.
Mhm.
So it's important that we do this.
Aline, you're muted again.
I'm not purposely, I think I just, because it's my phone, I hold it there and I mute myself accidentally. But so this is going for a hearing tomorrow, and we could send comments in up to the day of the hearing or also call in the hearing. Is that something we want to do, or are we satisfied with the comments we've given Mr. Choi?
However you want. I will forward your comments today to our hearing officer tonight, and also the project manager, so that they are aware of it the first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
So
Charles?
This is an example of a project that if we had if we did draft and got accepted by the community and the supervisors approved it, we probably would not be approving this vacation rental because it would be too close to already existing vacation rentals. And of course, the goal there is to not have a entire community of vacation rentals. And to Mary's point, it'd be interesting to see how, if we had 94 in January, they've been increasing dramatically over the last couple, 3 years. People know that Oceano is the only place that doesn't have any regulations yet. And so we're kind of in a land rush, I think, right now.
Yeah, but we still have time to vote to support it or not to support it, right, Mr. Younger? You're going to report it. We were not asked it before, but we can do it right now.
Yes, however, your recommendation tonight is will be forwarded to the hearing officer tomorrow morning. Well, tonight, but tomorrow morning, yeah.
So let's pretend that we do not support this project. You will report it tomorrow morning, and that's going to be our comment, and that's going to be on the record.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Can I speak to that? Yeah.
Go ahead, Mary Lucy.
One, I don't think that's legal. You can't submit an application and then change the rules after you get the application. The application is based on the existing policies in place.
Sure.
So, and it could be, it's a very, very expensive and treacherous road to go down and guaranteed to lose. But what we can do is we can make it a policy for the future.
I agree, 1,000%.
So
agree.
In
agree.
San Luis, I mean, in Los Osos, they put those policies in place, and everything that follows after those policies, then they have to comply. We can't do it that way. I'm sorry.
Well, we have.
I don't mean to poo-poo on it or anything, but it's just you can't do that.
Well, I don't understand, Lucy. I was just suggesting that we do like we do with any other project, that we discuss it and then we vote either to support it or not. Haven't we done that in the past?
Yes, I understand, but you're going to have to give a different reason why you rejected it.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Well, I move that we approve the Fisher proposal for the vacation rental.
A second. A second the motion? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Charles moved it. I seconded it.
roll call?
Roll call.
Yes.
Let me read it here. Chair Aline Villa, yes. Charles Warney,
Yes.
Lucia Casanova,
No.
no. Mary Lucy,
Yes.
April Dury,
No.
no. So it passes with 3 yeses, 2 noes. So thank you, Mr. Choi.
Thank you.
Just make sure you tell them we're concerned about all the vacation rentals in that section there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And would you tell them that we're looking forward to their draft guidelines for unincorporated area of Oceano?
Well, that's
because I don't think it's our job to write them.
it is our job.
It is our job.
Oh, okay, tell them they're on their way.
Okay. Next on our agenda, we have another vacation rental. This is a Vicari vacation rental. Does anyone want to start the discussion there?
Okay, I'm confused. This is one that just showed up like now.
Yes.
The Fisher ones were the one we discussed. This is the McCarthy one, the one we discussed that was not on the agenda, so we couldn't really approve it or do much.
Oh.
That was last
But
month.
this one's on McCarthy Avenue.
Right. So this is one we had last month.
Where they had that scribbly drawing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And, so we didn't feel there was some, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Either there was some missing information or something that we just said we'd bring it forward to this meeting.
Mm.
But looking at it, I couldn't remember, what might be new in it versus what was missing last time. So I apologize for that.
I remember some of the comments, and we thought that it was kind of, the drawing there was very flimsy. It was very difficult to make out. I don't know if you received a better drawing or pictures. And also, I think it was Mary Lucy who thought, she said the way it looked, the garage was being converted into a room.
Oh, I
That
remember
was a
now.
concern. And then we were also concerned, I remember, with the parking. Well, parking's a big thing with vacation rentals. How is it going to be enforced when we don't even have a full-time code officer that is out here enforcing?
So,
Those were some of the main concerns.
Yeah. So I'll start with the parking over there. Again, the first one, the best way we hope is the property management contact information that the neighbors will receive. Hopefully those the property manager will be in contact with the renters to move the cars or kick them out. We did look into the building records. We do not see any recent building updates or any addition or conversion of those. We see the drawing as 2-car garage with a driveway. So I think they're proposing total of 4 cars on this property as well. I think I'm missing some of your other questions. If you could repeat those to me.
The garage, the parking, the drawing, something to where we can see what it's going to look like.
So unfortunately for the drawing, I did not get an updated one, but it's a 3-bedroom, and I believe 2 bath, one in the master and one downstairs.
I see here in the land use that it doesn't say anything. I mean, in the surrounding land use, residential north and east, but what about south and west? Oh, it doesn't say anything next to what to south, but it's that what's under the residential?
Yeah,
You
the
see-
south is residential,
Oh, okay.
and what I also see it's registered as a vacation rental as well to the south.
So it's residential on all sides.
Yes.
I believe Charles had his hand up. Charles?
The applicant says in here that, he wants to rent this out. It's a second home for him, and he wants to rent it out through VRBO or other types of things like that. I'm assuming that, and I don't know what all of those apps are for, but I assume that they all apply to vacation rentals and not B&B, which is a totally different designation.
Right.
So this is a gentleman who lives in Sacramento,
Yes.
and it's very typical that we have absentee vacation rental owners. In fact, there's even investment firms that come and buy up as many homes as they can. It's not just, this isn't just a mom and pop kind of business. Again, I mean, there's nothing that we can legally do. about this, and as long as it's in compliance. Personally, I feel like I need to be able to support it. And I guess it makes it easier for me since that whole area of the community is becoming vacation rentals. And I guess maybe more selfishly, and just to be transparent, I'll promise you that if across the street from me, somebody wants to convert that place into a vacation rental, I'll raise holy hell, not via us so much, but you know, it's like, this is why we have this item on the agenda for later in the meeting to talk about possible ordinance for our community.
Excuse me, I need a clarification here. He says, I want to and piggyback on that. I want to use it as an Airbnb. So again, I thought today in order to use it as an Airbnb, you need to reside in the place.
No,
Isn't the Airbnb different from vacation rental?
no.
So the Airbnb offers multiple listings, including just one of those homestays or a bed and breakfast or entire vacation rental. For this application, the applicant is looking to rent the entire home.
Oh, so no, the make that confused with the bed and breakfast thing rather than bed and breakfast and vacation rental. Those are two different
Right.
things. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Well, no. Now this is surrounded by residential, so maybe it's a little better than the last one. Until we have, we must really agendize talking about this ordinance and really, and of course I appreciate Julie's comments, recommendation. I was going to bring it up because we have been circulating the Los Osos. We must absolutely work on this because it's becoming, that's all we do every month. We just have to, we see our community being totally invaded. And that's what really changes. We are going to become a subdivision, and that's going to raise our sense of community and our identity, and bring the prices up. And so we needed to put it on the agenda.
You're not looking for approval today, Mr. Choi, are you? Because I would like to see like picture of the garage, that it's a garage and not a bedroom.
Has county planning, this hasn't gone to county planning yet? I mean, where's this in the permitting process? I mean, it looks like is the application complete at this point, Young?
It is, as of right now. If you guys would like a picture of the garage, and I will ask for a better site plan as a second request for, if you guys would like. Yeah.
I would.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Well, I'd like to talk about that. I mean, so what are we going to get out of like delaying this for this applicant another month? I mean, is there something this critical that we're going to get information that is going to change how you see it, or I'm not sure. And maybe I just need to hear a little more about what is the concern, Aline and Lucy.
Well, I would like it to be a truthful application to where I could see that it's really a garage, because a lot of people convert their garages to rooms and their vacation rental is more attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the parking.
Parking, yes.
The parking situation, if I live near there, I would want that vacation rental to have 4 parking spaces for sure, so that they don't invade my street.
Well, let me ask Young.
I mean, if you live there, what would you would raise hell, right, Charles? You would want to know. You would want that vacation rental to have 4 parking spaces for sure.
Definitely. And I wonder, Young, in terms of the county's process, is there eyes on the ground before they sign off on it that the garage actually can hold 2 cars and isn't filled with a billiard table and surfboards?
So can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so for not all the times, but if we do receive a neighborhood or a neighbor's questions just like this, then what we do is that we ask the applicant to provide us a photo that X amount of cars could fit. And if they can show us those exactly, then we ask them to show us the spaces for those. We've done it a few times. Sometimes we do get those information prior to hearing, so we upload those photos as part of the record. Second, what we also do is that we could also condition the project so that, for example, prior to a business license application, that they do the clearance with the planning department to show the photos of the garage that it could fit X amount of cars. So we've done it two ways there. So, if the planning department receives the photos before going to the hearing, we usually don't condition the project since we've already kind of satisfied that. But if we don't, then we have some marks. We have some holds that we could put the property to. So,
What do you think of that, Mary and Aline, in terms of a way to handle this?
If there's going to be pictures that we could see that show that this actual garage is a garage, I'm fine with that. I just don't want it to be a
Right.
remodeled room where you can tell the garage was converted into a really nice dining or rec room.
Yeah. Other
And
bedrooms.
it's gonna have invade on the privacy and parking of other people that live nearby, because I would hate that to happen in my neighborhood by my house.
What, that application was far more telling than what he put down on paper. But I would feel comfortable with pictures, but I also would feel comfortable with pictures, say in 9 or 10 months down the road.
Yeah.
Mary Lucy.
So if they could provide us pictures now for, preliminary approval, and then at a future date, we'll be requesting additional pictures within a year.
Do we have-
Rest assured there'll be bunk beds in there.
So that would
So
be on a complaint basis, I imagine.
but I'm not going to stand in the way of it, but I do think that there needs to be a second look.
Well, keep my mouth shut. Are we done?
So while the planning department, while we have the hold for the first initial submittal, once issued, we don't have as much power as we could, or I don't want to say power, but a mechanism to hold onto those issues. Your recommendation, will go definitely towards the planning officer, and I could probably, also get the condition for the initial prior to business license application for the 2 photos, but I'm not sure how our department could go with a monitoring of the sites in the future.
Okay, so there's another way too, is that if there's any complaints or observation of conversion, that the planning department will take that into consideration.
Yeah, we would always do that through the code enforcement.
Wow. Code enforcement is a thorn in our side here. We don't have any.
I understand, but code enforcement is part of the planning department. So
yeah, but if it doesn't have a heartbeat behind it or a person in it, it's just a title. So yeah, so if I'm fine with approving it, but if anything comes in within the next year, any observation of conversion, then it gets turned in and they go back before the board.
So I'm also fine with approving it with the pictures and also with the comment that Mary Lucy said that if those observations, something else is going on, that it comes back to be looked at.
So I'll make a motion to approve this project on the condition that there are pictures of the garage that show that it is a functional and operational for 2 cars.
Second.
Been motion and second. Should we do roll call?
Sure.
Lean Via chair, yes. Charles Varney,
Yes.
Lucia Casanovo,
Yes.
Mary Lucy,
Yes.
April Dury.
Yes. Yes.
Passes unanimously. Okay. You're welcome to stay. Or
I
not.
would like to ask him a question,
Sure.
if that's possible, because it had nothing to do with these 2 articles that we just discussed.
Okay.
So one of the things that we were forwarded, Mr. Choi, earlier in December was something from the planning department, and I believe it came from a Daniela Chavez, and it had to do with a hearing supposedly December 14th or December 4th, but it also said December 18th on it. So I can give you whatever reference number you need, but what I'd like to, and I emailed all of us about it. It's the property that you drove past, Aline, up on the mesa with the flags.
Oh, yes.
Remember that property? So we were forwarded it, but I don't know that we were supposed to report on it, but it's a vacation rental that falls within the coastal zone, but the SCAC isn't in the coastal zone, so they didn't have any say over it. It wasn't within the Oceano boundary, so we didn't have any say over it. So who does have say over that? And I can give you any reference number you need to look it up, or an address.
Sure, if you have a reference number, I could look that up as well. But while you get that number, if it is
I have
not
a file
within
number.
Yeah, the file number would be great.
Okay, so this one is for the, because there's 2, sorry. This one is used as residential vacation rental, file number DRC 2019
Oh yeah,
hyphen 00249.
on the Mesa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But not
okay,
on the
yes,
Mesa.
now I remember that one. Yes, 1150 Mesa, I believe, or 1145.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's what's strange. It's not on the Mesa. It's in the Cienega Valley, but it's the ag section where the lagoons are.
Yeah.
So
Yep, like the lakes. That's the Dunes Lake where the duck hunting club is.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So what oversight committee gets any input on that? It's a residential rental in the coastal commission or coastal zone.
So if it's not an advisory body or any of those jurisdiction, it doesn't go to any of them. That's the short answer.
Okay. So if you go to page 2 of this thing I'm looking at, which is the tentative notice of action, it says that the meeting date was December 4th. It's kind of confusing.
Yes.
But if you go to the second page, under other agency / advisory group involvement, it says South County Advisory Council. But I called them and spoke to one of their people, and they said they're not within a coastal zone to even have a say. So why does it say that?
I'll look into that. Let me double check. And I think the staff report had mistakenly included that information there. I don't think it did go to advisory council, but if it
They
did,
they have no jurisdiction over it, so they
Hmm.
didn't get it. But I wanted to understand the process because I'm feeling like maybe the planning department itself may not know the process. And how many of these are we missing, like the one we just talked about? Because not you, but your department may be severely understaffed, may be severely unable or uninformed, and that's hampering us from being able to be participatory in the process.
Okay. All right.
So
Go ahead,
I'm
respond.
just, yeah, I was waiting for him, sorry.
Yeah, so what happened on the last project was that we had 4 old emails of the previous chairs of the advisory council. Unfortunately, now we've now updated those information, but in short, that's what happened was that we had old contact information on there. And now that we fixed the address to include Aline and the Oceano Advisory Council, that Gmail address, hopefully all of those referral will go to them. And it will also be copied by me too. So then I will also be able to track those as well. Now looking at the South County Advice Council, I'm just going to double check. But usually what happens is that once the project is received, depending on their partial location, our system flags which advisory council it should head to. And we use our email list that we have to send those out there. And again, what happened for the Oceano was that that email list was outdated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Which leads, thank you. There's actually 2 projects on that property. Are you aware of the second project for the well?
Yeah, the second one is a agriculture well that they requested.
And is that under the South County area, whatever you call it, SCAC? Because they didn't get that one.
I'm double checking right now, but I believe those are the same same APN, same property and property owners. Yeah.
But it's not a rental, so that's why I'm wondering why they weren't on one, but they were on another. I'm just confused. I want to understand better. That's all.
Yeah. Let me look into it and get back to you on
Okay.
that.
Thank you so much for your help.
Thank you. You're really, really kind.
Are we done here in respect for time? It's like 6:47 already. Are we done with
Yeah,
this?
well, we don't get
Okay.
anything.
So do we have any public comment on this project? Don't see any. Being that there's none, we'll move on.
Thank you, Mr. Choi.
So,
Anytime.
Mr. Choi, like I said, you're welcome to go or not.
I'll stay for a few more minutes while finishing up some of the items for you guys today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being so patient and respectful.
Yeah.
We'll go on to our new business. The first item we have is the reopening of the at-large OAC position. And I guess April can start the discussion.
Ari is not even here.
He's not here, but
That's my point. Well, for one, my concern, I asked to have this put on here. My concern is, where's the transparency that there would be an open position for people to apply for when someone knew they were quitting, lined up someone else to take that spot, and we all fell like bowling pins for it. And I'm not real comfortable with that in hindsight. And then subsequently since that, he has never answered one email that I have ever seen in the voluminous amounts of email we have sent to each other between the meetings. He's not here now. Has he told any one of you that he would or would not attend this evening? You know, I'm concerned.
Um,
Thoughts?
Charles?
well, I I definitely, I think I expressed this in email to everybody that I think it was a very good call on your part, April, to bring that to our attention, and it was an error. And I apologize for my part in that. And I think
Me too.
absolutely we need to open it up, that we have a space for a at-large community member and are accepting letters of application. So I think we ought to have a motion to that effect. And then in terms of specifically, the person that expressed interest in wanting to do it, it's up to them if they want to apply again and say that they're interested, and and then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But so
I also wanna assure that you're right. It really did look like it was all nicely set up, but I'm sure it wasn't. I mean, I
don't know. I don't
Right.
know, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
I wasn't. So
I just-
I also think it's great that we do this, and shouldn't we? Okay, so how are we going to advertise it? How are we going to let people public know? Are we going to put it on our website? Is even our website working? Shouldn't we let Rio know that this is happening, and that if he wants to be reconsidered, he has to reapply?
Well, I think he would need to know the way that the whole public gets to know. I mean, well, and I take that back, because he did make an effort that last meeting. So I think to reach out to him personally to say, this is what was decided, whatever we do decide is fair, because we know him personally. But I think that this shows us we keep operating by the seat of our pants. We need written policies and procedures in place so that we don't guess every time. If we make a decision today and we don't have a written policy and procedure, and Aline's gone in 3 months and Mary's gone in 6, and I
Right.
go to prison, who the hell knows,
hey,
then we don't have policies and procedures in place.
Right.
So I'm requesting that we put policies and procedures in place. And if that's not a discussion for this meeting because of time, I understand that. But I think we leave ourselves open to lacking transparency. And if I have one main theme, it's transparency.
So I think I'll make a formal motion, and then we can move on to the next part in terms of the question of how do we let people know. I move that we reopen the at-large position with public notification and accept letters of application from interested residents of the Oceano. Well, I mean, I guess we're in the Oceano Community Services District. I mean, that's the boundaries of our advisory council.
I second.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Passes unanimously.
Mhm.
Aline, are you the representative to, do you report at OCSD about OAC?
Yes.
So would you please in your announcement make the announcement that we have a vacancy?
Publicly there? Yes.
And then it will go in their minutes, I think. But so that'll be one way to announce it.
We can also announce it to the Oceano Beach Community Association. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yes, and ask them to spread the word.
It should go on our website, but I'm not sure how to go
Yeah,
get in there and put it in there.
they don't have anybody. that
No,
can
we will
bring
put it
up-
on our newsletter. The OBCA will put it on the letter on the Slack. And that's all we can do because our website right now is down. So we're going to put it on Slack and the newsletter.
Yes, and we'll put it on the OBCA Facebook, and I will also put it on the Oceano Neighbors Facebook page, and we could also put it on what's that
Next
other one?
door.
Next door.
Next door.
Oceano Watch.
Next door.
And
and then
Oceano Watch, April can do that.
Oceano Watch. Mhm.
And we can put a flyer, you know where? In the little triangular park. There is a, no, I know, no.
That may be the funniest thing I've heard all week.
We got some laughs from Mary Lucy there.
I got people laughing.
These are funny
You
jokes.
know, it's a place for public notices. And I'm gonna try that venue.
You go for
It's
it.
not a public park.
I know it's not a public park, but like notices for the TB meetings are in there. It is used for
Well, if you would like to ask the property owner, I'm saying go right ahead.
Okay.
But that's for the
Okay.
group to decide.
There's a bulletin board.
Is there something we want to write up?
a
one,
quintessa.
And then, that's a good one. Do we want to write up one document that we disseminate in all ways so that we don't have various ways of
Yes.
doing it?
A nice
That's a
flyer.
great idea.
Yeah,
I'm willing to do a flyer with everything that's required and then make it a PDF and we can post it or print it or do whatever.
Oh, great.
You're
Great.
appointed.
thank you.
Thank you, April.
Do you want me to run it through email real quick once I'm done, just for one through
Yes.
final approval? Can do.
Great.
And
Okay.
the position will be open until it's filled. It's not like we have to fill it at the next meeting. No one may apply
Right.
by the next meeting.
Right.
Right.
Okay, that's
Are
all.
we supposed to legally, I don't know, to undo Rio's nomination, or we just let it drop? I mean,
That's
Maybe-
why I asked for the policies and procedures to have rules last time about sanctioning a member
what?
and how do you hold someone accountable when
So
there's
how
no
do
rule.
we handle that now? Are we just going to say, well, unless we rescind it, unless we undo it, unless we make another motion, we motion that we take him, he's not anymore. He's also secretary. We also nominated him to be he was also elected to be our secretary.
Vice Chair and Secretary.
So we need to undo it, I think.
Well,
I'm not
okay.
disagreeing.
I thought that that was implied in the motion that we passed, that we are reopening the at-large member position for applications.
It is implied, Charles, but
It is
is
implied.
it is implied just by reopening it, but do we have to be specific? How do other boards handle things like this? I don't know.
It is implied if there are more than, if there is only one at large, but openings. But if there are more
There's
than,
only one. If Rio is not it, there is one left.
okay, so Rio has the only one left. So if we say that we reopen it, that is implied. Okay, there are
That's
no more.
implied.
Okay,
Perfect.
let's make it clear then. Okay. Okay.
Public comment?
Public comment, we're done, right? Public comment now for this matter,
There's nobody
for
else.
this item?
No, excuse me, I have one more thing.
So-
How about letting Rio know? Are we gonna do it as a council? I think it's kind, if it's a kind thing to do, that we let him know. So should Alina send a formal email, or are we just, what?
Well, I think, yeah, Aline would be the one to let him know. But
Yeah.
if he reads his email, he knows that this is
It's on the agenda.
it's on the agenda. And he was involved in the discussion. I mean, he didn't participate, but he got all the emails.
Mhm.
So he knows what's going on.
But I'll still send him
Yeah.
an email formally stating that and the reason why.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that'd be good.
Will do. So
Okay.
are we done discussing this now?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with him personally.
No.
No.
It was a process issue that we realized we made a mistake.
No, we're not done. We have to, no, we're done maybe particularly with this person, but with what April says about agendize us up, that we put this procedure. I remember we said we don't need to redo the entire bylaws, but as we get
No,
to a
actually,
place,
Cynthia Rapogal said we didn't need to.
oh, well, that I agree with that. That we did not need to redo the entire bylaws, but as we get to a place that needs to be redone, then we will address that because we see the need. So since we are seeing the need for this to be in place, we need to put something in place as soon as we can. So we need to put it on the agenda.
We will.
Agreed.
Huh?
We'll put it on next month's agenda.
Okay, good.
Who's gonna write up the draft of the change? Or procedures?
Oh, I nominate April.
You guys realize it's the end of the year, and I'm in an industry that the end of the year is a
I
huge
start.
thing.
You know what? I'm gonna start, and that's the best way. Once there is a Google Doc in which I say a couple of stupidity,
And
then
then we all
everybody's
just
gonna
take a
put
little.
it. Okay? So I'm gonna start it. I'll do the best I can,
Okay.
and then you people write in. Okay? So don't blame me if I write two stupid things. That's why I do it to start it. Start the ball rolling.
Well,
We're good.
we're
We're
just
good.
gonna suck everything we can out of you till the first of the year.
Well, I'm on empty as it is, so good luck.
We'll lighten up after April 15th.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I think that date went
I'll
out
be
the
in an
window.
Airbnb in some other beach town.
Okay. It's 7 o'clock. Does anyone want a motion to go on for another 10, 15 minutes?
I just have a couple things that I'd like to add to the agenda, and I don't know if they were discussed at the beginning, so, but they can wait till the following year.
Okay, does anyone want a motion to extend the meeting?
Yeah,
I would like one.
I'd like to do 10 minutes.
Okay,
Second.
So is there,
all those in favor? Aye.
Yes.
Okay.
Mary, did you want to, is there something that you want to bring up?
I just wanted to say, Lucia, I loved the letter in the New Times today. Thank you so very much. You don't know how many people have really, really appreciated that. And
Great.
hopefully we can slow the damage.
Great.
And then I just had a question on, did OCSD vote on their executive directors?
No.
No.
No, they did not.
So
Okay.
this meeting, upcoming meeting.
All right. And then on a future agenda, I'd like to talk about the fire authority, and the increases and what's that doing to the community and how irresponsible that was, but that can go way down the road.
Okay.
So I'd like to have a little discussion about vacation rentals and
Yes.
ordinance for Oceano. And
Okay, so that's next on our agenda, Charles. So next item on the agenda is vacation rental ordinance.
okay, all right, great.
What is on the agenda?
The document that I think Lucia initially sent around, the study, the Cal Poly students' study of vacation rentals in Oceano, where you all have that document now. That document lays out, like I said, it's sort of an encyclopedia. It has all the rules and regulations in there, and actually lays out a planned vacation rental ordinance for Oceano. I think that, and I can't give you the reference pages off the top of my head. I mean, it's a big document, but I think it's pages 45, 46, something like that. I'll go through and look at that. But I think we could take those pages as a starting point and then, start modifying it. But I think we all need to get a background education and look what Cambria's done, look what Los Osos has, because they all have done it a little different. And as I told you all before, I'm really concerned. I think it's really important we have a vacation rental policy for both sides of the road, the coastal zone and the non-coastal zone. And I'm most concerned about the non-coastal zone because that is where our stock of affordable housing is. And we need to protect that. We need to protect that for now and for the future. And in the future, when we are successful in our goal of having a vehicle-free beach and we become more of a beach community, there will be obviously economic upward pressure. And so, I mean, we're going to need more than to not allow vacation rentals on the east side of Highway 1. There'll have to be a lot more, and we're going to have to be diligent about that. But this is a place to start. And so I'm just saying we've got this work this young woman did. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it's a good overview for us, and it's a perfect document for us right now with what all the other communities have done. And we are kind of the last in the line here to really grab it. You're next.
What? Go ahead, April.
I'm not sure that everyone's aware that the unincorporated areas of San Luis Obispo County that are not within the coastal zone don't get to make rules. The county part of San Luis Obispo, pick one, Edna Valley, they don't get to make rules. Napomo doesn't get to make rules because they're not in the coastal zone. Only the coastal zone section does an AC get to make guideline rules, period. So that's something we need to fight our Board of Supervisors about. So when I'm just saying this, it frustrates me to no end. I'm sure it does everyone, but we're going to waste our time if we think we're going to create an entire document that doesn't do anything. We really need to understand the scope of what we're looking at.
I think that there are areas in the in the non-coastal zone. I mean, so there are issues with this in Paso and Atascadero, out in the wine country where people have vacation rentals. And I think that I think that there is something that can be done.
And this is my concern why our meetings go so long. It's because we think things and we talk our thinkings out, but we don't come prepared to know these things. And I did some research, and my research has shown that nothing outside of a coastal zone for vacation rentals is allowed to be created except for at a Board of Supervisors level or the county level.
So could I make a recommendation just to move the agenda is that after April, when you're back on, you're back in full force, that we do like a webinar, and that gives us enough time to pull all the data together, right? Coastal versus non-coastal, right? Outside the state of California, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but a few, right? And we can do a really good tutorial for ourselves on that.
Well, and we can ask Mr. Choi too.
Yeah.
Yes, most
That's
definitely.
what I was leading to with my questions. When I said there's a vacation rental that's not within the Oceano CSD coastal zone, and Napomo doesn't have a coastal zone, where does this land? Nowhere. Nowhere.
With the board.
That's our problem. And that's what I was trying to get out talking to him tonight.
Well, we're going to be plowing some new ground.
Which I'm all for, but we need to come prepared. Otherwise, we will have 4-hour meetings and get nowhere.
So April, what you're saying, do I understand this correctly? What you're saying is that everything that's outside the coastal zone in Oceano, we can't make any rules about.
Correct.
Because we're unincorporated.
Correct.
we can't make rules, the Board of Supervisors can make rules.
Correct.
Right, right. Well,
And
can't-
we can recommend
can't make
things.
rules, period, because we're just advisory.
Right, but we don't have any,
Exactly.
we can't make any rule about anything anyway.
But we can make rules within the coastal zone guidelines that if they don't follow those guidelines, we can say we don't approve a project. County can
Okay.
do what they want anyway, we're just advisory. But if we at least, as Julie Tacker was explaining, shape what we want to happen, we can say, we don't approve it because it doesn't fit our shape.
Right.
Then if the board wants to do it anyway, or the planning department, we at least tried and we can fight it and whatever.
Uh-huh.
So
I agree.
I'm telling you, I come prepared, people. I don't just go, I wonder if, I find
Okay.
answers and then ask.
If we have a minute, I'd like to give a little 2 minutes report of the meeting we had with the Coastal Commission this morning. There's some,
And I
Right,
also would
right.
like
You
to
know,
talk about the fact that
Lucia?
we get correspondence and no one's giving it to the rest of the group. So we have a lot to talk about.
what? I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said, and I would like on the agenda, and I asked for it on the agenda, and
Okay,
it's not on the agenda.
in respect for time, it's 7:10 already. We
Right.
said we were gonna
And
go
that's
10
no
minutes.
problem.
Okay. So do we want to go another 10 minutes or do we want to
No, no.
adjourn? What does everybody, do we want to go another 10 minutes?
Yes, but what I had got to
Charles
say
looks,
is important.
Charles looks like he's about had it. He's
Oh, I was
tired.
at the
Because he was,
Coastal Commission meeting, so
so he was at the Coastal Commission meeting. Maybe I can just write,
And maybe this
right.
is why we need outside people to be members, because we're all taxed. We're all exhausted. We all are.
Okay, so do we want to go a motion for another 10 minutes?
I say yes.
okay, I'm in.
yeah, me too.
All those in favor? Aye, aye. 10 more minutes and that's it. So we have to move on in respect for time so we can cover most of this. So vacation rental ordinance, are we done discussing this? Or have we decided we're going to do more homework and put it?
I will send around some information to everybody in preparation for this topic at the January meeting.
Okay, and so we'll
Thank you.
do as much
It'll be-
homework as
it'll
we
be
can.
Homework. And Mary.
We'll try to do as much homework as possible.
Me too.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
so-
I'll certainly contribute to that. And maybe somebody could get a hold of Julie and she could share what they've gone through.
Okay. So then, is there any public comment for these, the reopening or the vacation rental? Any public comment?
Do we have a
Being
public?
none, did I hear? Being that there's none, we'll continue. So we're done with the old business because we had moved that up. We're at the website management. I don't think we have much on that, right, Charles?
No.
Charles was away with surgery and all that, and I'm glad that he's here with us and healthy.
Oh, yes. Welcome, Charles.
So being nothing on the website, cannabis tax, I'm supposed to look into that, just haven't had time all these months.
Don't
But
bother.
yeah, kind of don't bother. Cannabis tax, ODSVRA, Coastal Commission, we have various, I'm sure comments that Lucia would like to make. We were both in a meeting today. Go ahead, Lucia.
Yeah, just briefly to let you know what's coming, because something is coming. The Coastal Commission staff that is dedicated to this issue, Central Coast ODSVRA, reached out to the Oceano Beach Community Association to hear what we think we would like to see for Oceano for the future. And they told us what the commission intends to do. Supposedly, a big review is coming up, possibly February, but most likely March. In this review, staff will make some very strong recommendations, which he already had made in July and didn't pass, but they are pretty sure that they will pass this time. And these are short terms recommendations which should become action items immediately. And among those are close Pier Avenue to beach traffic completely. Number two, no crossing of the ocean of the creek when it's flowing, no matter how deep. And number three, the three biggies are reducing the number of cars allowed right now. These are just to be done right now, hopefully in March, when when staff will recommend them, and hopefully they are very positive that the commission will approve them. Then that we can enforce them. The state parks will agree with them or will sue. That's a different matter. But for right now, this is what's coming. This is what staff wants to do. And in the long range, staff will recommend a 5 years transition plan, at the end of which there will be no OHV whatsoever, no vehicles south of Pier Avenue, and only a few hundreds car camping between Pier and Grand. Kind of a compromise between getting rid of all camping or keeping the entire camping situation. So there will be, and in 5 years, we will see a few hundred cars entering from Grand Avenue or from inside the state park's campground, and camping on that little stretch of beach, and then exiting again through the campground or Grand Avenue. So, and they're very positive that changes are coming.
I would like
Okay,
to
thank you.
add to that. They emphasized that the input of the Oceano Advisory Council was crucial.
Crucial,
and
yes.
important to the Coastal Commission, and they encouraged us to have a position that we bring to the meeting.
Good
Yes.
job, guys. That's awesome.
Great. So
You're making a difference.
We are. So I was thinking, let the state park is supposed to turn in their plan, and who knows? Maybe they got enlightened and their plan is wonderful. Most likely it's not. So we have to wait for that. Then we wait for staff to make. Then we wait for staff to do its report, and that's when we come in. Look at staff's report, looks at staff recommendation, and the council will take a position and will write to the commission.
Mhm. So that'll be work we do January, February.
Well, it sounds really exciting. It
Yes.
really does. It sounds like you've cracked the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the only thing I would like to add to that is that they, our part besides the letter to help them to help this become a reality is to speak to people in our community and make them see that we don't need to be an off-roading town, that we could be just as great, better. We're with a sustainable, economy and a healthy, sustainable beach and just different types of tourism, and not only speak to our neighbors about it, but convince public officials. They're saying the public officials that are afraid to speak out and usually speak against getting rid of off-roading at all the commission meetings. We need to convince some of them on the sidelines, and some of them just need to develop a little bit of spine to, say we can be much better without off-roading. We don't have to depend on them. And COVID has shown us this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to hear some good news.
Mm-hmm. So,
what about that damn survey?
They pulled it.
Yeah, I just got a news flash across my computer that said phony Oceano survey.
Yeah.
So there's a news station called, I'll pull it up right now, but there's a news station that's running a story saying that there's been a a phony survey released about the beach, saying that it's called Newsbreak. And it said that Oceano, there's been a phony survey being passed around. So check it out if you get a chance, but it just flashed on my screen.
Mhm.
Okay.
Of course, it would be none of us who would do
No.
that. You know.
So, do we have any public comment on Lucia's report?
We even have a public.
I don't know. I don't on my phone. I don't.
All we have is Julie.
I think I see a
Oh, hi.
phone number there. I see Julie, and I see another phone number. I don't know who that is.
I'm
Her
the other
husband.
phone number.
That's
Oh, that's April's the other one.
that's
And
April.
I think Julie's still on. So it looks like she's still on, anyways. Okay.
I'm waiting to discuss item 10. That's literally all I'm here for.
Okay. So I don't think we have anything on the curb and gutter. We've vacation rental density restrictions. We discussed that already. So now we have Charles' treasurer report.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Then we
are
have.
we going to contact the board to get the money, or that's where we get our money from?
Right. Yeah. In fact, I was researching the form today. So.
Okay.
We ought to have a team that puts together the proposal, but we can just, it'll be easy to do.
Okay.
Thank you, Charles. And next we have the OPCA report with Lucia.
We did it.
You did it. You covered most of it, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Yes, we did it.
Okay. So then the next one would be my report for the Oceano Community Service District, and most of you were there. So thank you for those that were there and read the letter. That was a very exciting and not boring meeting that we had. And basically, well, you know, we had a couple of people who wrote in that their water bill was extremely high due to just something happened. One lady's pipe broke and her bill was ridiculous, was like 4,000 something. And we voted to, you know, basically give her a credit, not so she wouldn't have that ridiculous bill. And then the other individual, I think we couldn't figure out what happened to his water bill. Maybe there was a water thief around or something. Well, there was nothing wrong with his pipes or anything, or his meter, and cameras there didn't catch anything. So that was kind of weird. So we voted to reduce his bill because it was just abnormal. They had the whole record of all the average of the bills, and that was just extremely high. So then, of course, participation in Central Coast Blue was the main topic. And after heated public comment and discussion there, nothing was really resolved, and might be resolved at this next meeting. So this next meeting is very important for the public to know about, and we should try to, it should be, I know it's going to be in the OBCA newsletter, and I'll try to put it on several places, and I'm sure April will. The public needs to understand that this is very important. It's a very expensive project, and the way a lot of people don't even know in our community what Central Coast Blue is, and then the way that it's being presented by our manager, I think you could have done a way better job of explaining why it's beneficial for our community to participate and ensure us that water rates aren't going to go up, and just the whole thing about explaining it, why we're going to trade state water, which is relatively cheap, for the Central Coast Blue water. His main explanation is that it's a lot more reliable. I think
Ah.
it should be better explained than that. My opinion.
And mine too.
You know.
I'm not going to disagree.
So I think that next meeting, he's probably going to further address that, explain as to why it is to our benefit to do this, because it doesn't make sense. Why are we trading if we have so much water and state water supposedly is not reliable when there's droughts and certain times? Then how are we going to pay for it if we don't have a certain amount because it's not reliable? That needs to be explained.
Eileen,
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to say something after you're done on this.
So that's basically it. The Central Coast Blue, our decision of whether to, participate is going to be discussed at this next meeting, and also officer elections, which are very important, are going to be made at this meeting. So it's an important meeting. Go ahead. I'm done.
I'm sorry. First of all, state water is the most reliable water we have. This county overbuys 50,000 acre feet of water. Oceano pulls their state water out of that reserve. So there's always like 30,000 acre feet of water. Oh, I take that back. They buy 5,000 acre feet. No, it's either 5 or 50,000 acre feet, but Oceano pulls out of that source. So the possibility of us ever running out of state water is nil in our lifetimes. Okay, and so I would like us to put Central Blue on the agenda. There's ways of compensating communities further than just paying us in water. They could pay us in new water pipes, so because they're getting about a $5 million bonus off their grants from the interest by having Oceano in there. And I'm saying, okay, we don't need the water, but we need the infrastructure, and it's a water associated, and that can be used there. So Will is thinking in a box, and I don't know who the hell got a hold of his ear, but every single one of us has been paying state water for 30 years. We're vested in this. And for him to turn around and give away our investment is criminal. So please, let's put this on the agenda. Do not let this man do this. He doesn't care at all about our future. And if I hear somebody say, well, we'll swap state water for recycled water. Well, who the hell would do that? That's just stupid. So please, it's really, really important to each one of our households. It's simply just another way of giving away our water rights that we've paid for 30 years. You think our neighbors are going to help us when we go dry? Ha! So I'm very passionate about the water. I'm sorry.
You hide it so well, Mary.
I know. I put all my filters on before I speak of water.
Okay, so any other comment on this?
I ditto, Mary. I ditto everything about that meeting the other night. And it is so disheartening in a town of 7,000 people, the same 5 effing people show up and show that they care.
Yeah, right.
Lucia, go ahead.
No.
No, okay. All right.
So
we're done.
I'll write a letter to Will and submit it to you in draft form. Okay. And trust me, my wife's an editor, so I take nothing personal. So just mark that sucker up. but I do want to get him over something to say, no, I'm watching, fool. So.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. That'd be nice. Good.
Okay, so I'll send it to you, Aileen.
Okay, thank you.
And then, yeah, well, I'll send it to everybody and please just tear it up and add to it.
Yeah.
Can't be too long.
No, do a Google document so we can all ask a comment and the Google document. Do you know how to do a Google document?
No, but I'll call you and you'll walk me through
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So we're at the discussion items now. I think that's where April wanted to chime in. Is this where you wanted?
I do. I'll preface this with, I have talked to the community about fireworks, and I explained to them that another agency at their disposal is the AOC, or OAC, sorry, and have encouraged them to reach out to us because we are a bridge to the county, to the OCSD via a lien, etc. We are one more voice for the community, and anything about me is about transparency and advocacy as the community member. I would never want to be shut down, and I don't want to reach out as a community member and feel that I'm hitting a gate instead of a guide. And I feel like community members just hit a gate instead of a guide when I encourage them to reach out to us about the fireworks as one more voice to get out there. And I asked Aline if anybody actually did that, and she said that she had received some correspondence. I never saw that correspondence, and I may be mistaken, but Aline, from what I understood, and if I'm wrong, please say so, Aline, that you had advised those people that we aren't an agency to reach out to or try to get any assistance from or be a voice for in the community at all. And if that's the case, that concerns me. If it's not the case, please let me know that didn't happen. But if you really did receive correspondence, I didn't get it. It's not attached to the agenda. There's no transparency to it whatsoever. And I don't feel comfortable with that. We need guides and not gatekeepers.
All right. I did receive 4 emails the last month, 4 emails regarding fireworks. And I have not learned how to attach things to the agenda properly. I discovered this morning, for whatever reason, it's blue when it's in my email, but when I send it out and put it in the folder, it turns black. So I'm at a loss for that. But
okay, we'll work on
the way I answered those emails was like this. The Oceano Advisory Council, it is not a fireworks, it's not a purview. So I suggest that you contact the OCSD, which is the agency you should contact, and send an email and show up in person if you would like to. And I am on the board, and I do know that it's going to be addressed at the beginning of the year, but go ahead and send your comments there. That's how I did answer that. And if I'm wrong, well, that's how I believed I should have handled it. And that's what I did. Okay. And it's basically answered all 4 basically the same way.
Right. But as a representative of the OAC, and there are 4, 3, however many participate, if someone comes up to Charles and says, hey, I wrote a letter to the OAC about this, what's going on? He doesn't even know a letter was written. So we kind of look like we're on our back foot, and I'm not comfortable in that position. And especially when I personally ask people to write us to be one more voice. And if we're going to take the position that fireworks are not within our purview, then state parks is not within our purview. Well, I'm not comfortable picking and choosing our pet projects to run through the OAC if that's the case. That's not transparency, and that's not fair. And we do give our information directly to the Board of Supervisors. We are a conduit. We are a voice for the community. And I'm always trying to advocate for the community. Everybody knows that. I'm not hiding that. Everything I see, I look at it as, if I'm just a community member, is this agenda easy to follow? Does this agenda embed information that I can click and go somewhere else and figure out information? None of that happens. We'll work on that. But to tell people, we're not the person to write to, don't talk to us, just go somewhere else, that's not being a guide, it's being a gatekeeper. And I think our agency is better than that. Our role is to be a voice for the community, for everybody, not just our pet project.
I do forward every single email I get, and those are the only emails that I didn't forward to you, to the board, basically because I thought, okay, this isn't county-wide, this isn't, you know, these are community members, and I'm just going to tell them what to do. So I just didn't think it was a big issue. But if you want to see all the public's emails, I will go ahead and forward. I don't have any issue with that. I'll just forward every single email that I get, because that's what I do for all the other emails that I get. So
maybe it'd be easier as an agenda packet. So what you get, you know, in the month, unless it's urgent, then send it out. But otherwise, you know, just put it in an agenda packet.
Then we get it 24 hours before the meeting.
I understand that, and I'll do my best to figure out how to do that, because I'm not like an expert with the Google Docs to make that light up like Cynthia would and click over. It lights up, like I said, it lights up on my computer in my Gmail or in my Yahoo Mail, because I double check it. It lights up there, but then when it's transferred to the folder, it's black.
Yeah.
So if someone can help me with that, that would be great. Then I could just go ahead
Well,
and do that.
I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah, I think
So,
all we need to do is, I hear April very much. I agree that things can be more transparent, and from now on, and I'm sure Aline is going to learn to put things in the packet. I think that's a smart idea. And if I can, I'll help Aline. Aline is doing a tremendous job.
I do truly hope, Aline, this isn't you personally at any way, shape, or form.
And I don't know how you want me to answer those emails, April. You wanted me to say, yes, you can come. Yes, the Oceano Advisory is doing its best job, you know, that they can to bring this to the county and to the OCSD. Is that how you would like me to answer?
We will forward your concerns to
the OCSD?
To the OCSD and to the county.
Is that what you, is that?
Our role isn't necessarily to inform the OCSD on everything. We're the conduit to the county. So I think that would be a step in. And it's not, again, not you, Aline, personally, it's whoever is the chair, whoever answers those emails, they should make them available to all of us, because we're all accountable. If someone is I ask someone to write something to us, and then they come back and say, I wrote it, what happened? I'm like, I didn't even know you wrote it, I'm sorry. I have no clue. But when Mr. Choi sends us something, you forward all those. So that's the difference, is like, I think we have the right to know everything that the public is asking of us, because we really are a conduit. And I'm more than happy to help you figure those Google Doc things out, because I don't know either. So I'm just asking, can we agree or not agree? And if I'm wrong, say I'm wrong. That if the community reaches out to us, that we just be guides. Every chance we get, be guides instead of gatekeepers. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
I'm still confused at how you want me to answer the email, but we can talk about it later.
I just wanted
respect for time.
Start the discussion.
Yes, because it's 7:38, and I think I would like to adjourn this meeting.
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. It was wonderful having you here. Thank you.
It was a good meeting.
It was a great meeting.
It was a good meeting. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.